Is muted. I'm just talking to myself. Hey, what's up, people? Welcome to another episode of Messages in the Madness. Yes, I'm here. I'm a little late, but I could blame it on some folks, but I'm not. Um, yeah, I could. Can you hear me now? Tell me if you can send me some thumbs up. Let me know if you can hear me now. But I'm here. You're here. Appreciate y'all being here. Hope you had a great week. Hope you had a great weekend. I hope you have a great week planned because it's going to be awesome. It's going to be fabulous because that's what life is. It's awesome and it's fabulous. So let's see here. Welcome to everybody that's watching the show over on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank y'all very much for watching, keeping up with me and everything. Life has been great. I Make sure you guys hit like or love and share the message tonight if you enjoy what you're hearing, if you appreciate what you're hearing, because I think what we're going to talk about tonight is going to be worth it. Um, my week's been kind of quiet. Actually, this whole month of March has been kind of quiet. I haven't had a show all month, so I'm kind of fiending to get out there and get back on stage. Went to a nice show last night at the Grandale. Shout out to Marvin Davis and all the great comics that was on that show last night. Um, it was pretty good. It was pretty good, and the venue was excellent. So, yeah, okay. Why am I late? I'm late because I had to go pick up granddaughter. So, there are priorities, and granddaughter, it was priority. So I had to go pick up Miss Kayla. But we're here. So let's look into the magic mirror and see who's here. Because I see folks lurking over there behind the icon back there, but you're not saying hi and let me know that you're here because you're lurking. Just hit like a love. I see baby sis. I see my daughter who is out at sea. I see baby sis, Spamey. I see Miss Coley. Oh, my daughter Shanice popped in. Hey, baby, good to see you. Thank y'all for popping in. Yes, I see you, baby sis. Miss Marion. Hey, how you doing, Miss Coley? Glad to see you as well. Regine, thank you very much. Welcome to the show. I think this is your first time popping in, so thank you for stopping by and saying hi, y'all. But make sure you hit like or love and share the message if you would. And tonight we're gonna get into the message, and the message came from just life, just reality. And reality is something else. It's always slapping us around and slapping us in the face. And if you guys notice here lately, my theme has really been about trying to help us navigate tough times, because people are struggling right now. So I've been trying to help us by sharing messages in the madness, mental health, supporting each other, taking care of each other, loving on each other. That's what I've been trying to talk about. And then, too, watching the news here lately, we got another thing to bother us. Was it the eclipse is coming on April the 8th, Monday the 8th? People are talking about closing schools. They talking about buying 2 weeks worth of food. So that's the reason why I put up my starlight background, because the big solar eclipse. So people are worried about that and adding. It's not that we don't have enough to worry about. It's not that we don't have enough on our plates, but it just seems like more and more stuff is just coming out of nowhere. So, brother Jerry, good to see you. But yeah, it's like more and more stuff is coming out of nowhere. So, Coley, the name of the show tonight, because I know you share it, and I thank you for doing such, is people are struggling and smiling in your face, which is we've all seen that. So it's time to ditch the mask and get real, y'all. We all know that everything. We all know that everything's fine. Smile, people wear. Hey, yeah, everything's great. Even when life feels like a total dumpster fire, we've all been there. It's a game we all play. What they want us to do: look successful, try to look as successful as we possibly get my successful thing going on here, but try to look successful and happy and um just pretend we got to look like we got it all figured out. Yeah. Even when everything inside of us is screaming for a break because we got too much on our plate. We got a lot on the plate. We got a lot going on. We're doing, as the kids say, we're doing too much, but we still got to wear that smile on our face like we're not. And people are struggling. But why do we put ourselves through this charade? Great question, huh? Why do we put ourselves through that? And more importantly, how is all this pretending messing with our lives? It messes with our mental health. It even messes with our relationships. How? Y'all tell me how all this pretending can mess up a relationship, mess up your life, mess up your mental health. And we're all worried. I won't say we all, but people are worried about a lot of different things. They're concerned. I'm not a big fan of that word worry, but people are worried. They're struggling because the struggle is real, y'all. It's real. The struggle is real. Bills keep coming. Paychecks seem to vanish in seconds. You get paid at 12 o'clock at 12:02. Your money gone. It's that fast. Don't forget those unexpected, expenses that hit you like a sucker punch. We're all trying to be responsible, but sometimes it really feels impossible to keep up with the rising cost of everything. We went to dinner tonight. Me, Mr. Net, grandbaby is 8 years old, granddaughter is 16 years old. $72 at Golden Corral. $72. And there was only two drinks ordered. $72. I remember you maybe take a family of four out to eat for, at the buffet, $40, maybe. Maybe 50 on the outside. But yeah, $72. That was for the tip. So everything is going up. Prices costing. It's just crazy. Everything. It's like we playing a real life game of, where good financial, decisions still lead to being broke. It's like no matter what kind of plan you got, it's still there. And we're people are fighting that battle, trying to figure out, do I put gas in my car? Or do I buy food? Do I buy medicine or do I buy food or do I put gas in my car? Hey, Miss Charlotte, thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you. These are some of the battles that people are fighting. So yes, people are struggling, but they're smiling in your face because of a number of reasons. Sometimes your mind is your worst roommate. You know that? Hey, Roger, good to see you too, sir. Yeah, we're running late tonight too, so you only missed a few minutes of the show. We don't always wear our struggles on the outside. Many of us we don't. We don't wear our struggles on the outside. Y'all can see me up on stage destroying a room, but you don't know the struggles that I'm dealing with inside. I can see you and you laughing your ass off, but I don't know what you're dealing with inside. We all have our own struggles, and most people don't wear their struggles on their sleeves. Sometimes the hardest battles are the ones no one sees. Yeah. Sometimes we don't see them. We don't know we can't recognize them. We can't identify them because it's not something that we're used to looking at. But some people just do a very, very good job of hiding them. Anxiety, it chews at you from the inside. Depression feels like the weight on your soul, not on your body, on your soul, a weight on your soul. Past traumas that still sting, they pop up out of nowhere. They just wow, it's like, wow, I haven't thought about that in years. But you may see something on TV that may trigger you, or somebody may say something that may trigger you from a past trauma, a past experience. And this is all happening in your mind. We pass grumpy people in the street and judge them, or be at Walmart and somebody just cranky, going off. We don't know what kind of day that they're having. We don't know what they're going through. We don't know what it took from them to get from where they was at to that point where they're at in Walmart, raising $1,000 worth of hell about some American sliced cheese that they thought it was cheese product, but it's actually that vinyl cheese in a little plastic wraps. Then they raising $1 million worth of hell about it because it's $10. But we don't know what people are going through. We don't know why they're acting that way because people are fighting invisible battles within themselves. And quite possibly, they might be struggling more than we can even imagine. It's time to break that stigma. It's time to get real about getting some mental health help. We all have rough days. I'll be the first to throw my hand in the air. Yeah. We have some good days. I had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. Anyway, don't get me started. Y'all know I can't sing. I'm probably the only person y'all know that's ever been kicked out of church for singing. They're like, baby, come back here. You can't sing. I'm like, can I hum? You can't even hum. But Coley says they say that comics are some of the saddest people on the planet. Coley, I'll admit, I used to be, but y'all have heard me say at one point in time I didn't like me. So you're right. Internal conflicts. Yeah. But we all have rough days. Every last one of us. And if you tell me you don't have rough days, I'm gonna look at you sideways like Scooby Doo. Okay. Being an adult, adulting, it's like an obstacle course. Yeah, the physical stuff no one likes to admit. Sometimes chronic illness, making plans, unreliable, hidden disabilities turn basic tasks into a challenge. Our old aches and pains that make you feel way older than you are. The day I stood up and my knees sounded like I was a transformer. It's like what was that noise? I was told a long time ago that at age 40, I woke up and it's like, wow, I got a pain. I was told now that you hit 40, every day you will wake up with a new ache or pain and you're not gonna be able to identify where it came from. So there's that. And it's been true. But the physical stuff that no one likes to admit to, the chronic illnesses, making plans it does make it unreliable. Old aches and pains that make you feel way older than you are. But what do? We power through them because we don't have no choice. We got two choices. We either do it or we do it. We either do it in the positive or we do it in the negative. But we power through. We hide the struggle behind the smile until it all feels like it's too much to bear. And then what do? You smile in people's faces while you're struggling. So we got a LinkedIn user says we've experienced difficult times and extremely difficult times. However, it's always about what you do or how you respond to it. It's with strength, courage, and believe in yourself and God. I'm gonna say amen twice to that because it's true. I've told y'all the story about the little boy when I was coaching little league football. I got upset, threw my hat, threw down my sunflower seeds. He was clearly upset. And the little boy couldn't have been more than 11 years old. Looked at me and said, "Coach Vernon, I see you mad, but did it stop you from breathing?" I'm like, "No." He said, "Then it wasn't that serious." So Jerry says, "My struggle has been always being there for everyone else but myself." Jerry, I'm gonna look you in your face. And I'm gonna tell you, I've been there and I've done that to a fault. To a fault. And I had to stop. And I had to stop doing that because when you get through saving everybody, when you get through pushing everybody up into the lifeboat, and the lifeboat gets too far out of range, who's going to save you? You got to save some for yourself. You got to take care of you. And that was a hard lesson for me to learn. Hey, Mr. Nick, glad you could make it to the show. Yeah, what's happening? How you doing? Um, okay, now I know who my LinkedIn user is. He said, "Don't talk about us old people, brother." Roger says, "I feel you on the over 40 pains." Yeah. Coley says, "Hey, Mr. Net. Hey, Miss Coley." Um, Charlotte says, "When you get 82, if it works, it hurts, or it don't work." Charlotte, honestly, you are my hero. I admire you. I mean, you do what you do. You going, you coming, you doing things, you hanging out, you living your life, and I think it's so wonderful. You inspire me. You really do. You really do. Um, then we do this thing while we people are struggling and smiling in your face. We do this thing pretending everything is okay. It's like emotional Jenga, pretending everything is okay when it's not. Straight up, it's just straight up exhausting. Doing that is just straight up exhausting. Trying to act like your life is so in order, it's exhausting. It wears you out. Oh my God. When my son and daughter, Nisha and Trey's mother passed, I tried so hard to hold it together. I tried so hard to compensate for the loss of their mother. And I would smile and hey, Dad, I need this, or Dad, can you help me with that? Dad. And I just kept a straight face, and I would give them two answers. Well, it was either yes, I can do it. Rarely was it no. And then it was, let me see what I can do. But on the inside, I was cringing. And I was cringing to the point where I just felt like I was just wringing a towel out. And I was going through it. I was exhausted. I was worn out. I just felt like the emotional Jenga. I felt like there was just pieces being pulled out of me left and right. But I had to go through it. And as they got older, the grip lightened and lightened, and they needed me less. But yeah, it was exhausting. So we are experts at shoving our feelings down, our real feelings. We good at that. And we slap on that fake ass, silly, smiley face mask, and we go out into the world. And those of us that are in corporate America, so we do that a lot. Those of you that may have jobs that are, that you have to slap on that face, and everything is just that face that says everything is great, but on the inside you're crying on the inside. You're broken down. You're leaning up against the wall. Some of us are on one knee trying to stand up, but you can't tell them that. Even though they have mental health days and things like that, you can't tell them. You can't tell them that. They say bring your true and authentic self to work, to school, to church. You can't because people are not ready for it. But here's the thing: when we slap on those face masks, it makes us feel isolated and alone. We think we're the only ones with messy lives, when honestly, everyone's just trying their best to keep it together. So you're not by yourself when you're going through those struggles. Yeah, you got to shoulders back, chest out, Straighten up your clothes. Walk in like you own the place. While your inner person is balled up in a fetal position in a corner. But you can't show everybody that. Coley says, well, okay then, Mr. Barry White Davis. Show you right, yeah. Um, Charlotte says, I go as long as I'm able. I know that's right. Charlotte, keep going, because I think that's what helps you out a lot, you know. Um, I'm just gonna say it, Brox. I know that's you. We need listeners to those who need to know you are. We need listeners. We need listen to those who need to know you are. They just need to open up and have someone there. And then he says, you are never alone if you're a believer. And yes, I am a believer, as all y'all know, I'm a believer. You know. But sometimes you just need that human voice. Sometimes you need that human hug. Sometimes you just need that human sitting there beside you listening. They ain't got to talk, but just being there. Just being there. When we hide our real selves, our relationships suffer. Yeah. When we're just emotionally struggling and just emotionally exhausted, we cancel plans because we have a fear of being a burden on others. And it keeps us from opening up. And well-meaning friends start to get annoyed because we seem distant. You're there, but you're not there. What's the song say? Your mind is here with me, but your body's on the other side of town. You're lost in the sauce. Yeah. You all in the Kool-Aid don't even know what flavor it is. You used up all the mustard and can't catch up. All those little phrases. So fear of being a burden keeps us from opening up. And our friends see this, but they think it's being distant, that you don't want to be there, that you're annoyed. But only if we felt safe enough to say, "Hey, I'm not okay." Things might just feel a whole lot easier. But it is so hard to say, "I'm not okay." It's hard to say, "Hey, I need a hand." It's hard to say, "Help me." Why? Because so many others have so many others have so much going on in their lives that you don't want to be a burden to them. So what do? We do what we talked about before. We stuff it down. We stuff it back into that box. And we take the lid and we jam it down and we set on it and then we wrap a chain around it. But if we could just say, I'm not okay, things might feel a whole lot easier. So Cody said, yeah, just because people carry the internal weight well on the outside doesn't mean it's not heavy. This is very true. And I'll just be honest. I mean, God's thrown some stuff in my path that, they say God's not gonna give you more than you can handle. Man, some days I felt like God was getting me ready for a weightlifting competition because I felt like I was carrying Earth, the moon, and Mars on my shoulders. I felt like he had just laid it on my chest and I was struggling to get it off. Coley, this is now your reason right there is the same reason why you and I have that in common. I despise being a burden. And it took me a long time to get to a place to where I would raise my hand and say, I need some help. Can you help me? I had to be face down in the mud on the side of my face with mud running in this nostril and breathing out of this nostril with a boot on my neck before I would tap out and say, I need some help. It took me a long time to get to the point to where I say, you know what? I don't have to be like this. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of courage. It's a sign of strength. It's a sign that you are recognizing where you're at. So, Brock says, because you may feel lost or alone, take a deep breath. Look outside. You are not alone. There's a lot of truth to that. We're never really alone. But man, sometimes it sure feel like we alone, don't it? Sometimes it feel like we all by ourselves and that what we're going through is just us and nobody else is understanding. Nobody else can appreciate what it is that we're going through. It feels like that. It feels like nobody understands where I'm at or what I'm going through. That's what it feels like. And it's horrible. It's okay to fail. Most do Most do to see forward. Yeah, you gotta fail. Hey man, every time you fails brings you closer to your success. Brother Andy, good to see you, man. Good to see you. I hope baby girl is doing okay. You and the wife were great. Um, yeah, you did witness that with me, Brox. You did. Andy says sometimes our struggles can help inspire others. Yeah, I've said it before. I'll say it again, Andy. You are one of my inspirations, bro. And Brett Eastburn. Yeah. Because when I think that I can't, I think about you guys and I see that I can. Because if you can do it, I can do it. So we've talked about these struggles. What is the cure? How do we do this? Three things: honesty, sarcasm. I'm pretty good at that one. And remembering you're not a robot, you're human. You got to get you off autopilot. That I'm fine. That's an autopilot response. I'm fine. No, you're not. And the sooner you can say, I'm not fine, or hey, I failed, or hey, I screwed it up, or hey, Lord, I blew this blessing you gave me, changes your game. It does. So before I get into that, baby sis says exactly. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. All they can say is no or yes. I don't feel like asking for assistance makes me a burden. Never thought that way. Maybe I should have in certain instances, but mama always said a closed mouth don't get fed. So I asked, and you know what, sister, you've heard me say it on this show. Same thing. A closed mouth don't get fed. And unfortunately, sometimes when we ask of those that we ask things of, they may say no to you, and then they'll hold it against you, or they'll use it against you. But guess what? It comes a point in your life where you just can't even worry about that anymore. You really can't worry about it. You have to keep it moving. You really do. So, like I said, we got to get to a point to where we ditch that I'm fine autopilot BS response. You got to be real. You got to be honest and be honest for real this time. Instead of that usual, I'm great. Try something a little bit more accurate that reflects your current state of mind. Like, honestly, I'm surviving on coffee and sheer willpower. Or I feel like a walking to do list, or I don't know if I got enough money to buy ramen for the rest of the month because that's all I've been eating. A little honesty goes a long way. That honesty may open the door for somebody to say, "Hey, can I help you?" Let me show you some love that you deserve. Because I've watched you help so many others. Maybe. Asking for help. Just because you ask for help and see baby sis says she asked for help and I don't worry about it. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Brock says, be yourself. Know we all have struggles and challenges, but do not shut down. That's the hard one. That is the hard one. Not shutting down. There's nothing wrong with ramen noodles, but who wants to eat them 30 days out of the month? I don't. Do you know how much sodium that is? Man, trust me. At one point in time, I was so broke, I had ramen noodles on layaway at Dollar Tree. No, I'm sorry, Family Dollar. Cody says, I stopped saying I'm fine years ago. I either say I'm here or chill. Don't even ask because it will ruin your day. When people ask me, how am I doing? Those of y'all that know me, I say, hey man, I'm just shy of awesome. And they go, well, why aren't you awesome? I say, because if I'm already awesome, I got nothing to look forward to. So yeah, that's what I say. I had this supervisor who I really thought a lot of, I think a lot of. And they would ask me how was I doing. I say, hey man, I'm just, just shy of awesome. They say, you know what, you old guys always have a lot of work. They were a little younger than we are. You old guys always have a lot of words. How come you can't just say you're fine or that you're okay? And I said, because old people got a lot of words and we don't know how much time. So we trying to use all our words, okay? But that's the honesty. But asking for help, just because you ask for help, it's not gonna summons a gang of killer African bees to sting your ass to death. I know it feels like it though. Asking for help isn't being weak. It's like hiring backup for your sanity. Whether it's venting to a friend, asking somebody to take on some tasks, or seeking professional support. Remember, you're not meant to do life solo. You're not meant to go through this by yourself. It's not meant for you to do it by yourself. There's a word that I'm not a big fan of, but it's real. And that big old long word is vulnerability. And no, vulnerability is not some weird skin disease because that's what it felt like 20 years to us, 20 years ago. Because being vulnerable was not something we discussed. But now sharing our struggles makes us human. Before, sharing our struggles meant you need to be talking to somebody that had a prescription pad and a couch and a comfortable office with a bunch of degrees on the wall. But now being vulnerable and sharing our struggles makes us human, not broken. Because all of us got something. I don't care who you are. All of us got something that's broken inside of us. Being vulnerable gives others the okay to take off their mask too. It allows them to say, hey, man, you know what? Let's sit down and have a beer. Because I'm right there. I've been there. I mean, I admit to being right there with you right now, but it lets them open up to you. Last year in Colorado, there was a gentleman there that listened to my speech about suicide prevention. And he came up to me. He waited till everybody, everybody else had walked away. And he said, man, the story you told tonight was me 2 years ago. And just me being vulnerable and telling my story opened him up enough to come to me and talk to me and thank me. He don't know I cried like a little girl afterwards, but it opened him up and allowed him to say something. Brother James, thanks for checking in tonight. He says on the road tonight. Okay. Average opens the door for more conversation. It does open the door for more conversation. And you're right. None of us are doctors, but we're all human. So one of my favorite ways of fighting this is sarcasm. Y'all know me. I could be a little sarcastic, this, that, and the other. But sarcasm is your emotional shield. When life hands you lemons, ask for tequila and salt. Yeah, make you some margaritas. A little snark can make, tough stuff seem easier to swallow. But just remember something, sincerity matters too. Being sincere matters. You got to be self compassionate. You got to stop beating yourself up. You deserve the same kindness you give to complete strangers. You deserve the same kindness that you give to family and friends when they need you to. Stop beating yourself up. Stop neglecting you. You give your slightly crazy but lovable friends compassion. Give yourself some of that. Talk to yourself like you would someone you actually like. I know that sounds weird, but it works. Because see, here's the thing about you talking to you is that you are always listening to you. Now, you got something really wrong with you if you stop listening to yourself. If you talking to yourself and yeah, and you can't hear you talking to you, yeah, there's a problem. You need to put down whatever that is that you're doing. Yeah, you need to put that down. So, oh, daughter. I'm sorry. Our baby says, she says, sadly, our own mother had 3 suicide attempts. You never know when folks feel like they're at their wits' ends. Yes, Huggy, you're right. My mother wrote a book. She wrote 2 books. First book she wrote was called You Knew I Was an Addict. And I read that book. And it's no longer in publication, but I read that book. Learned a lot about my mama, but I learned a lot about me through my mom. But that's a whole nother story. Brock says, and as is humor. Yes, humor is good right along with sarcasm. Be positive but sincere and be a listener. You just might change someone's life. That is very true. So I'm about to finish this up, y'all. I just got a couple of things I want you to do. Changing ingrained habits take work. So here's what I recommend you do. Check in with your inner mess. Notice when you're about to slip into autopilot, that auto I'm fine mode. Ask yourself what you really need in that moment. Talk to you. What is it that you need? What is it that's going to help you get through this moment? Do you need someone to talk to? You need somebody to listen to you? Do you need a bottle of cold water? What is it that you need to get through this mess at this moment? Do you need to step outside and get a breath of fresh air? What is it that you need? And be honest about it. Find yourself a crew, people that you can, surround yourself with those who allow you to be perfectly imperfect. They allow you to be yourself. That includes weirdness and occasional meltdowns, but they allow you to be 100% you. And it takes baby steps to win. Baby steps equal big wins. You got to celebrate even the smallest acts of honesty and vulnerability. You're retraining your brain to be authentic, to be you, to be the person that you really are. And that's awesome. But these are some ingrained habits that's going to take some work. It does take some work. So you just got to remember, we're all glorious messes. We're all glorious, messy human beings. And we're all wearing those everything's perfect mask. Everything's fine. Everything is okay. Yes, I'm great. It's not true. So we have to embrace the chaos, the messages, and the madness. We got to laugh a little, laugh a lot. We got to support each other. We got to love each other and try to be there for each other. And that's my message for tonight, y'all. So, no, Cody, unfortunately, she said, can you re-release her book? Unfortunately, I can't. I don't have the masters for that. Her husband has, I do believe so. Um, no one fixes loss or pain overnight. It is a growing process. You're right. So, guys, that's my message for tonight. I hope that you have found value. I hope this is something that can help you. I hope it's something that you feel is worthy of sharing. So, guys, make sure you hit like or love. I just want to thank everybody for stopping in, stopping by, taking the time to spend some time because I greatly appreciate it. And as I always say, as we close out the show, I love you. God loves you. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Respect yourself. Love them kids. Hug them kids. Give them a hug from me. Remember, people are struggling while they smiling in your face. Be kind because you don't know what people are going through. So this has been Messages in the Madness. I'm Vernon Davis, Vernon Longhorn Davis. God bless y'all until next week. $2.